101.5 Super FM presents House Guest, a brand new, fresh fortnightly feature airing on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. House Guest will showcase a cadre of professionals from doctors and entrepreneurs to the next door friendly neighbor. So tune in as we network the community with a platform for open, frank, and informative discussion. Only on Super FM, your community radio station.
So, FM, good morning to you. Welcome inside another edition of House Guest. For today, Wednesday, the 7th of December 2022. Oh my, how time flies. Recently, we saw the 1st of December, and imagine it's already the 7th. As always, it's a pleasure to have you here with me, Miss Mayoress, Mrs. Joan Hippolyte. I must thank you for always facilitating, no matter how busy you are. I know the various challenges that you are presently undergoing, and nonetheless, you're able to make it happen. Kudos to you on that. To our listening audience, good morning to you. Compliments of the season as well, whatever planet you're locked onto. Good morning. Do have yourself a productive one. And just a reminder that you can continue listening to us, of course, to win exciting prizes. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but if you're lucky enough, you will be winning two gift cards today. Compliments the mayor. The last we spoke, a few activities actually did take place, and of course, you're always here to update the community, not just software as well, but environs. With that being said, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning again, Sabrina. Thank you ever so much for having me as your guest. I really appreciate that. Like you already said, sometimes it's a bit busy, but it's always good to be here. And as always, one of the main reasons I come here is to tell the community about the Supre Portager Constituency Council's plans and any other thing that's happening in Supre. Um, should I just go ahead and, or you ask me?
Before we get into that, actually, let me ask. We saw a beautiful ceremony which was held on Sunday. It spoke volume. A lot of persons said it was well executed. The turnout was great. In fact, everything it was superb. And I think this is what's needed, given, the level of violence that's really happening on our island, and trying to bring persons together, rekindling the spirit, bringing, that act of kindness. I think maybe we should, and again, this is where we kick off with the calendar of activities, which we saw on Sunday to unfold, for the remainder of the month. And I think it's a good thing so persons could get away from, the bitterness, the anger, and let's resolve, crime in a more orderly manner. Let's understand what is the root of the problem. And instead of resorting to guns, weapons, knives, I mean, it is really sad when the lives have been lost like that.
Yes, indeed. And it's really a good way to start off the month, which is supposed to be a month of good cheer. And kudos to SRDF and the Super Portager Constituency Council and the parliamentary rep as well for putting these programs together for the month of December. On Sunday, the activity was well executed, as you rightly said, and I was very pleased about it because it was basically trying to showcase the talent of youngsters in Soufrière. And that is something that has been lacking because we have a lot of talent. The young people have talent, but they need an avenue or forum where they can showcase that talent. And I was very happy that this choir festival was able to accommodate the individuals in between. And Yasha Trubiscoy has pledged to assist in that regard, where we can have a monthly activity where young persons are given the opportunity to showcase their talent. So somebody may see and want to, hire them or help them develop further. And I'm really, really pleased about that aspect of it, showcasing the young talent.
Definitely. And I think it's a great initiative because we do have a lot of young talents in software, and most of the times they believe they're cast aside, they're not being recognized, and sometimes they may feel dampened. So with such an avenue, I think it could greatly assist.
Yes.
We saw what was recently formed in Zeno in terms of the organization,
Yeah.
and I know they're deemed for great things. They did mention quite a few projects they were looking to undertake. Maybe you had to fill us in some more with that.
Well, that's one of the questions for the challenge this morning. So persons can start figuring out two major activities that the Zeno Development Committee undertook this year. And this is one of the questions, and you'll be getting a gift voucher. So the Zeno Development Committee, I must admit that last year, about June last year, I started it off as a branch, political branch, to engender persons from Zeno, because everywhere it was being said Zeno is a UWP stronghold. I have no problem with that, but I felt okay, let's see how we can inject a little something. And thankfully, some people came forward and we started that branch. As soon as elections was over, I said to them, let us move away from politics. Let us try to get a community group going. And there was there still is a little uneasiness about people, but I want to guarantee them that the Zeno Development Organization is not a political organization. Zeno is a very loving community. In the name of Jesus, I want to say it's a very peaceful community. I'm hoping that we don't get any kind of creeping in of any kind of incidents there, but it's a very peaceful community. Although, when I went doing my little research there, I was told this is a community that has racial demarcation. One side of the community was basically Indian, and the other side of the community was Negroes. So there was this divide. But persons merged, persons got married to each other, and so that kind of racial division no longer exists. So we're trying to get rid of the political division. And so the Zeno Development Organization is doing a lot of things. As I rightly said, they have done a few activities during the year. And so this is one of the questions I'll be asking. Presently, we are working on a proposal. Well, we have submitted, or they have submitted a proposal for the Zeno Derash Trail, which we are hoping will bring about some economic benefits for the community. When the tourists visit, if they traverse that trail, then they would be able to experience the Zeno experience when they visit.
I would have definitely asked about that trail. Well, thank you so much for sharing some light on there. Tell us, in terms of Bhutan, what can residents look forward to there? Because most times we hear of Zeno and then persons are saying, but they're not doing nothing in Bhutan. They're not even coming to see us.
Okay. Bhutan is a beautiful community, and there is a lot of potential in Bhutan. Well, I have my ideas about Bhutan. The Bhutan residents have their ideas. My husband's relative have lands at Bhutan, a lot of land, and there are a lot of other issues with lands at Bhutan when it comes to church and the community. But with Bhutan, it is just a little distance. I think it's the distance that causes the problem. Like after you have traveled up the road and then you have to go inward. Now, for a person like me, I'm a bit fearful of traveling along such a long route inward when there are not many residents. Zeno is right there. As soon as you get to the junction, you're already in a residential area and so on. So we again are trying to get persons in Bhutan to start a committee. So once there is a committee going, then we can get them to organize and do things for Bhutan. But Bhutan, as I rightly said earlier, it's a beautiful community that you have a lovely view of the ocean. There's a beach right below. and it's just to a matter of getting a road to the beach. There's a track you can walk, but then there's no main road going to the beach. But it's an area that has a lot of potential, and so we're hoping as time goes by, the MP and the residents will be able to make Bhutan, a much vibrant, more vibrant community.
Sure. As we're not leaving any stones unturned, let's look at the beautiful community of Fossajac, which recently saw the agritourism park actually being open, and it has catered, for quite a few persons in the community, job-wise, and also empowering a lot of, our young people. Most of the times, it's of the view that there were no jobs, but I think sometimes you need to get out there and actually do something for yourself than just staying laid back and waiting for the relevant persons to bring something to you. You need to empower yourself. I know it's the festive season, and what are you planning, or what have you planned for your members and the council? I know the hardworking sanitary engineers.
Yeah.
Continue to applaud them.
Yes, let me just say a word about Forcejac. The Forcejac Development Committee actually was the model that I followed for the Zeno Development Organization, the New Development Committee. I said, well, if Forcejac can do it, why can't other communities do it? And I really want to applaud Mrs. Sandra Prosper, her husband, Mr. Dominic Prosper, and all the other workers or the team of persons who are working with the Forcejac Development Committee for, developing this agro-tourism park, which will provide a lot of benefits for the people of Forcejac and Soufrière as well. I want to applaud them. Now, as you mentioned, the sanitation workers, well, we have had plans to have a celebration for them on the 28th of December, but then we're now looking for sponsors or funds because the council does not really have a source of funds, but we will make it happen for them on the 28th of this month. Last year we had it closer to the 12 thereabout, but we said around this time there's so many activities happening, so we are going to have some kind of celebration, whether it's an evening dinner or lunch or something for them on Saturday the 28th of this month, because indeed they are hardworking. The team is limited in numbers, but we've not been given the okay to employ any more persons, and they're doing a fantastic job. They're doing a fantastic job in keeping Soufrière as clean as possible.
Definitely. And again, we need to applaud them. So many times we do not give persons the flowers. Also, not throw you under the bus. What are your goals for 2023?
Okay, well, my term is fast approaching its end because we're only there for 2 years. And my goal is to continue with one of the major projects that we started. And again, I'm not going to say what because that's one of the other questions. What are two major undertakings that the Soufrière Forceja Constituency Council took up during the past year? Two major projects that we undertook. So we were looking at Zeno Development Committee, and we're also looking at the Soufrière Forceja Constituency Council. So these are the two questions. So persons, when you be given the opportunity to answer, you can do your little research as of now.
Okay.
Yeah.
To date, would you say you are greatly satisfied in terms of the buzz in the town, the cleanliness, the loitering? Are there any plaguing issues you wish to speak about? Would you like to see them be corrected?
Yes, indeed. One of the issues that we have, and we get a lot of complaints, is the rapid growth of grass in areas around the town. Not so much in the town itself because we do not have many green areas, but the new development phase one, new development phase two, along the road to the Soufrière Comprehensive School, Crestland. These areas, I think, because of the rainy season, and I'm also going to say maybe because of the volcanic ash which we got last year, the grass is just, springing up everywhere. No sooner the council workers do a cleanup or even the step program, the grass is growing again. And so we have undertaken cuttings or hedge beautification project where persons are asked to donate cuttings of hedges of beautiful flowers that can be grown in many of these areas. And the drive is for Monday, the 12th of December. I have asked the schools, and I'm now asking the general public, anybody who wants to donate some cuttings, they can take it to the back of the town hall or to the constituency council office, where we will keep it until we are ready to plant it. So when the step program goes and they cut the grass or they cut the trees along the road, we will be having ladies plant these shrubs or these hedges or these flowers so that it can keep down the grass and let flowers bloom instead.
Wow. Again, very good incentive. I need you to maybe speak to persons who are not aware the abandoned vehicles. I know there was an initiative to rid the town of such. Has it been successful on your end?
Yes, it was successful to a certain level because we did not get rid of all of the derelict vehicles. Again, Yasha Trubiscoy from Anchasney and Jade Mountain, they assisted us tremendously with that drive. I want to applaud them as well as the persons who agreed to allow us to take the vehicles. Now, we thought that we would have been able to get a little incentive from the people. We're getting rid of your vehicle, you can just pay at least a little $50, that would go towards maybe, but nobody did. I
Yeah,
thought
I think it
persons,
was a bit much persons maybe have been out of view.
well, if you have a derelict vehicle and you have to take it to Viewfort, it
It's a
is,
lot.
yes. So, but we are thankful that part of it was done. It's not done completely because they still have some derelict vehicles around the place, but basically it was done to our satisfaction. So much so that some of the other constituencies wanted to undertake that kind of project, but they have, I guess, if you don't have the funding, then you cannot undertake it. But we still have some derelict vehicles that need to go. Yeah.
Thank you so much. 10:30 a.m. in Surface and Ocean Eastern Caribbean. Once again, good morning to you. Welcome inside another broadcast of House Guests, and it's the 7th day of the 12th month. Continuing our conversation, I would love to ask. We know it's the festive season, and we need to be very mindful in terms of bulky waste, proper disposal of garbage. For sure, we see a lot of that, especially again around this season.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, this is the first Wednesday of December, and so residents remember the next bulky waste collection day is the second Wednesday, which is next week. Next week is the 14th, and I really want to appeal to residents, do not put out the bulky waste before the date. There is an area in Fort Benny that I'm very disappointed with the residents who, or whoever it is, who place garbage to the back of somebody's home. And they put the bulky waste there, and because it is accumulated, people seem to think that it's a dump, and so they add their own garbage there. Please keep your garbage next to your homes, because if you don't want it next to your home, it's your garbage. Why should you be so inconsiderate to put it next to somebody's home? And so we have put up a sign there from the solid waste management department. And I can tell you, if you are caught or you are seen or you are known to be one who is disposing garbage there with the sign there, most likely you will be fined. There is a fine. Some people may do it in the middle of the night or hours when nobody is watching, but let us be a little more considerate. It's not a dump, it's near somebody's home, and that can encourage rodents, rats, and so on to get into the neighbors or people's homes in that area. So let us keep our garbage until the days that are stipulated for normal garbage collection and the bulky waste. But this year, I'm not sure if we're going to have the big dumpster, but we will try to see, persons who have excess bulky waste. We will try to see if the dumpster will come to Soufre closer to the Christmas period.
I think it would really help again, especially around this time when you do your general cleaning and you throw away, most of your unwanted, items,
Okay, yes.
your unwanted items.
Yes.
Um, could you share with us your update on the water issue?
Well, this issue has not been resolved, and I have my doubts in terms of it getting any better, because to me, this water is being diverted to some other area rather than new development phase one. Because new development phase one used to get their water source from Diamond, and Diamond is a natural source. You have two huge 6-inch mains coming down into town, and then all of a sudden, persons in new development phase one only get a trickle during the day. So it is not about, and even during the rainy season, when they claim that the intake is low, that was the issue they gave, that was the reason. But now with so much rain, we still have that problem. So I don't think it's a burst main, because you'd see water pouring out somewhere. So I'm just thinking that that water is diverted to some other area. That's why new development phase one, that's your area right here, does not have the capacity that it used to have before. With regards new development where I live, I cannot complain about this issue anymore. But I know I have seen water trucks occasionally, and when the water trucks are at the hydrant, we don't have water. So I know this is why there is no water. I don't know how the WASCO authorities can address that, but presently, new development phase two, we don't have a problem. But new development phase one, which is this area here from Wingsville to the bridge, they still experience that problem.
Okay, thanks for the sharing. Conversations not too long ago, and it came up that we need to rid the town of those, vagrants, especially when it's cruise time, and even with not just cruise, but having just your
Yes.
comfort in terms of navigating through the supermarkets and shopping in peace,
Hmm.
if I were to
Hmm.
say that, and the harassment from them sometimes is not always pleasant. So it falls where they said the mayor needs to do something to maybe a housing, to put them and something to that extent. So since you're here, just for the sharing, I would love your comments on that.
Yes, well, the parliamentary rep and the council, so for Worcestershire constituency council members and SRDF and myself as well, we have had a lot of discussions about that. First and foremost, we have crown lands, we have lands, but we need to get a building in place. Even in the parliamentary reps forum where she has plans for Soufre, this is one of them under the social benefits, in the sense that we want to get a place for the homeless. And we try to call them homeless because that's what they are. And we don't want it to be a place where they are in jail, but a place where they can be groomed, they can be given meals, and they can sleep. But then at some point in time, they will be allowed to go onto the streets. Right now, without being groomed and, well fed, or they're just walking about and they're begging, and they indeed are not a good sight for us as residents as well as the tourists. And so this is something that we are working on, and we will at some point in time find a solution to that problem. It is a problem for the residents where they sit near the bus terminal. The scent coming from them is not pleasant,
Not
and
at all.
they beg you, they harass you, some of them. So we really want to try to assist them, because through no fault of theirs, I guess, they are homeless and they're walking around. But this is something that we have spoken about, we have discussed. But the main thing is to get a building where they can be housed, and then given some free time to go and walk, maybe at a period of time during the day, but where they can come back, have a meal, be groomed, and to sleep. Yeah.
And we know such procedures definitely takes a lot of time.
Yes.
Also, there was another concern regarding the vendors from outside of the community where they were tasked in terms of a fee. Has that been resolved? Like vendors from V4?
Yes. They do pay up. They do pay up, especially the bigger companies like Peter and Company, Lanel Toilet Paper. They're some of the bigger companies that come in. They have to pay a fee. In some cases, $50, $100, depending on the volume, because I was mentioning to the deputy clerk one day, I was actually looking for someone and was standing near one of them, and a person came to buy $700 worth of drinks. $700 worth of drinks. So they do make a good sale. And so we get a small fee from them. The normal market vendors pay $2 per tray, but again, based on what you sell, we try to increase the price. Now we are presently getting a quantity of trays again that was donated by Yasha Chobiskoy that I allow the Sufra Comprehensive School students to put together with the assistance of a carpenter and a um, building tech teacher. Since that carpentry room was donated by Caroline Trubiscoy, I decided to utilize the students themselves. And so when these new trees come out, maybe they will have to pay $5, to use the tree. But that's basically what it is.
Thank you so much. We know how time flies. Let's get to the exciting part of it. Christmas cheer, spreading the love, giving persons an opportunity to win those two gift cards,
Vouchers, yeah.
vouchers. My apologies. So this is where we pose the questions. Two easy questions. It's coming from the mayor, and this is where you get an opportunity to walk away with two vouchers. Easy questions. Unfortunately, I cannot take part. This is the saddest thing. So this is your opportunity. You can pose the questions, and they will actually call us in. If they have the correct answers, automatically they win themselves the prizes.
So I hope you listeners out there have done your research, because if you don't call in, then I will just hand Miss
To Roman
Epiphan,
I.
yes, and Roman as the vouchers, the gift vouchers. So the first question is to name two major projects or any projects that you know that the Sufre Foster Constituency Council undertook during the past year. And if you are listening closely, you would have heard the answer in our conversation between Cabrina and myself. So two major projects that the Sufre Foster Constituency Council undertook during the past year.
Do you know any of the projects, Roy? Um, During that time, if you have any other talking points, we'll just continue the discussion as well.
Yes, well, actually, in a little while, I will be heading down to the waterfront to welcome the Sea Cloud that's coming in with its inaugural visit. Some time ago we had in Virma, and happy that we're having these small cruise ships coming in and allowing the passengers or their guests to walk through the streets of Soufrière. And so Soufrière, we want you to welcome them, be welcoming to any visitor. It doesn't have to be a Caucasian, who most persons believe are the only tourists. We have blacks and we have whites who are tourists as well. So let us be welcoming, let us be friendly to any visitor that we see, and welcome them to Soufrière. Also, with regards the tourists coming in, this is an opportunity as they walk through Soufrière for some of us to, prepare tours. A young man has already approached me with regards a tour to walk them through Soufrière, go into the cemetery, the Catholic church, the Duboulez site where there's a monument or right there for this young man who died in one of the wars as a pilot, and then the Soufrière estate and other places in Soufrière that they can visit. So you can present your tour to the Soufrière Regional Development Foundation, and then we can sell it to the cruise ship. So when they come off the boat, persons who have a tour walking through Soufrière town, a Soufrière town experience or something, you can make some monies out of that.
Definitely. Could you pose the other question, if possible, as well?
The other question is two major activities, or if you don't know, one activity that the Zeno Development Organization undertook during the course of the year, this year.
Easy as that. Maybe you can give them a hint. We'll be as nice.
Well, like I said, for the Soufrière Forster Constituency Council, we just discussed it earlier in two separate,
They may not
sessions.
have been
Yeah.
listening.
Yes, yes, yes. And basically this is what the Sufre Forsythia constituency council is all about. One of the main things that we are all about. That's one of the main things that we do, although it's not the only thing. And for the Zeno Development Organization, they undertook two major activities this year, and one of them was just towards the end of last month, the end of November, and it went very well.
Um, I'm trying to think as well. I think I'm close to it, but I may be wrong for sure. Um, Let me ask you, how would you like to end 2022?
Well, we want us,
Family, friends.
yes, as a community, I would like Sufra community to be a lot more united. Um, there is still a lot of division, with regards politics, which is the, big, I don't know, it's like a burden weighing us down. I think when elections are over, let us try to unite again until elections come in and you in your campaign mode but then for now, in terms of groups, organizations coming together. We're trying to get more organizations, more groups, to participate. Like the youth council is having a cook-off, and they want all the communities to participate. We had this choir festival, and we want the schools to participate. We will be having another choir festival on the 17th, and I have invited different churches and different organizations. So far, I only have a commitment from two. That is the Suffre Catholic Church and the Font Saint Jacques Choir. I'm trying to get the Suffre Comprehensive School to perform again because we were anticipating at least five groups. We have a little token for them as well. We will be providing them with refreshments and if they need transportation as well. So we want people to come together more often. There will be this concert on the 13th of December, along with all the other sporting activities, the aqua action. And again, we want all communities to participate. Don't let it just be a town thing. We want them to come down and, participate. So this is what I want for us this end of 2022, especially the Christmas season. Let us try to unite and come together.
Thank you for that. Someone sent in via WhatsApp.
Mhm.
Um, Agro Tourism Park.
Yes, well, that is for Font Saint Jacques. That's a Font Saint Jacques Development Committee, but
So
we
we're
were looking at
specifically talking about Zeno.
Zeno Development Committee, something that the Zeno persons just undertook 2 Sundays ago at the end of November, and it was very successful.
For me, I would be silly enough to say they just formed a group.
And the group has been formed for
They
a
just
while
formed a
now.
group, but I have no knowing sadly of what project they undertook.
Yeah, it was
Cleanup?
announced. It
Was it
was
a
a
cleanup?
yes, it was. Yeah, so you won the prize. So yes, they had a major cleanup, and as you
I just
mentioned,
guessed that,
that's what they had. And I want residents to understand that yes, the Ministry of Infrastructure, the town council, we are responsible for a lot of things that's happening in terms of around us. But for example, if you notice the drain is clogged near your home, don't wait for Ministry of Infrastructure to come and clear the drain because if it floods, it's your home that will be flooded. If there is something that you cannot manage where you need a backhoe or you need, a small excavator, then you can again ask for assistance. But if it is just basically clearing the drain with a spade or cutlass or a hoe or some basic equipment or just to cut some of the high bush near your home because you fear thieves can be hiding there and that kind of thing, you can try to do it because at the end of the day, the government don't live in your area. You live there, and then the fears and the insecurities are yours. We can help, but sometimes, we as residents, we can help ourselves, as best as we can.
I strongly agree with you, Miss. But we need to get away from that culture no matter what. We rely on the government for basically everything. And especially given the fact that Christmas is approaching, I can assure you they will be keeping them busy on their toes 24/7 for sure. Let me say thank you again for such an opportunity to come in to update the public on the various projects that has taken place and what actually will continue to develop our beautiful community of Sufre. Just before you leave, let me just get from you in terms of, well, the Christmas season and appealing to persons, especially to be vigilant where theft is concerned as well, and go back to that. Let each one be each other's,
Keeper.
keeper.
Yes, yes. And again, this is something the New Development Committee was trying to undertake, the whole idea of a neighborhood watch. But one of the first steps we wanted to do was to name the streets, but we got some setback because the MP wanted to do the whole of Soufre, and we have not gotten a funder to fund. So we will try our best to do community at a time. And we want the public to be vigilant and all the necessary things that you would have to do to keep yourself safe. So, for example, you're going shopping, you must ensure that your bag or your purse is close enough to you, maybe not just in your side bag and your side bag is on your side. Somebody can just snatch it and run in the other direction. When you enter in your car at night or even during the daytime, look around, be vigilant. And if you see any, person looking around, try to go around and come back. Try to get person's attention in one way or another. If maybe you are, snatched or taken somebody kidnap you, there are different ways that you can show that you need help by doing the finger gesture. There are lots of different little things that we can do to keep ourselves and others safe. So I'm hoping that during the Christmas season, persons are a lot more vigilant. When you're shopping, look at your surroundings. Don't give your back to the doorway. If you're on a side, watch who's coming in. I'm saying with all of these guns, we have to be careful, but not so fearful that we do not enjoy our lives. We have to be careful, we have to be vigilant. And again, if you know something, say something. The hotline is 555. It is anonymous. That's the most I can say. But we have to try our best. Try our best.
On that note, let me extend compliments of the season to you and your family and looking forward to the continued relationship.
Thank you very much. I wish you the same and the public. Try your best to have a happy Christmas, no matter what it is, and make sure you're part of the 88.5, whole Christmas program where there are gifts to be won and a giveaway on the 23rd. So let's make it a fun-filled Christmas. Thank you very much.
To our audience, I say thank you so much for tuning in. This has been our house guest edition for today, Wednesday, the 7th of December, 2022. To Rome, I say a special thank you so much for assisting as well. Do have yourself a wonderful day and keep it locked for our Christmas promotion. Santa's bag, win exciting prizes. Hey, I just won something. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.
You asked for more live and relevant talk shows, and we heard you. 88.5 Super FM